The Darkness are coming to Singapore's Capitol Theatre March the 11th, touring the Dreams on Toast album. And I'm delighted to say that the frontman Justin Hawkins is with us right now. Justin, thanks so much. I know it's a very different time of day for you, but thanks for getting up for this.
It's a pleasure, honestly. I'll do a workout straight after this, and then my day starts proper.
Absolutely love that. So you're coming to Singapore. Now, there can't be much as a band that you haven't done in 25 years, but the
Yep.
March 11th show here will be your first ever live show in Singapore. So
Yeah.
that's very cool. Now, is it a bucket list ticked or is it a quirky first?
Good question. I think I've always been curious about Singapore because we've been there, just to go through the airport a few times on the way over to Australia. And it always seems like a really spectacularly well-appointed place. So I have been curious about what it's like in the country itself, and I've heard some stories about it.
Okay.
So I'd say it's somewhere between quirky first and bucket list ticked.
Right. Okay. So you've heard a few stories. How are you in terms of your adaptability to heat externally and spicy food?
Spicy food is somewhat of a no-no before a show
Yeah.
because I have to think about things like acid reflux affecting the upper range of my voice.
Yep.
Um, Heat, absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, look at me now. I'm wearing a scarf in bed. You know,
Oh, you're going
this
to
is
love it. You're going to love the venue you're in. You're in a wonderful old theater as well, so it's going
oh,
to be
that's
very
cool.
much to your liking.
Yeah, I love old theatres. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of show that I enjoy, to be honest.
Now,
That'd be fun.
it's also your only tour on this particular tour cycle in Asia, and there'll be a
Mm.
lot of first timers, I would imagine, in the audience, which is quite
Yeah, I
something
expect so.
for you. When you play a first time show in a new territory like Singapore, rather than say an established market in front of very familiar fans, does
Mhm.
that does that make you in any way sort of, reevaluate who you are and what you do as a band and deliver on it rather than just doing what you always do?
Well, I think that show's going to come at the end of a run in Australia and New Zealand. So by that point, we will have evolved what we were doing anyway, because I think a country like Australia is very big, so we're playing like cities that have, they have quite stark cultural differences anyway between like the various different places that we'll have been playing. So I think we'll have like a generic approach, but there's always a fluidity in the way we approach any gig because we read the room and we perform in a different way depending on how the audience is behaving, you know. Um, and there's a lot of stuff that I do that's improvised, especially in between the songs. Like I'll go off and do like a cover or I might have to educate myself about what covers will and won't have um you know potential to trigger an audience. I don't know if there's songs that are associated with certain political factions or whatever. I'll have to do
Mm.
some homework on that just to know what to avoid, really, because I have got into trouble with that sort of thing before in Scotland. It can
Wow.
happen anywhere, to be honest.
I mean, a lot of people have
So
got into trouble in Scotland, to be fair, but
yeah,
I take your
I'm
point.
one of those people. Yeah, but yeah, so I'll just do a little bit of homework and feel it out, really. But most of the time, it's just like if I feel like something's going to land, then I'll go for it. And we have a set list, but there is a certain amount of wiggle room in there for me to pull it in a different direction if it needs to go there.
I suppose the other thing as well is humor and whether that travels as well, because I mean, Dreams on Toast, not a staple, I've got to say, that the Beans version here in Singapore, as far as I've known for the
Right.
27 years or so that I've lived here. But the humor comes through in all the lyrics and everything that you do, as you say, in those lovely ad libs and what you do in ad hoc moments on stage. I guess you'll just find out. I know the promoter is going to be really good at briefing you on some
Yeah.
of the things you mentioned a moment ago. So I think
That's
you probably need to
that's
lean into that.
in the olden days when we were on Atlantic Records, if we were going to enter a territory like Singapore for the first time, we would normally have somebody with us who would sort of guide us through what the etiquette might be
Mm.
in terms of, approaching audiences and also, the infrastructure around the gig, that if there's anything that we ought to bring as a gift, for example, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but we don't have that at the moment, so it is on us to do the homework. Any and all advice welcome at this
Well,
point.
rest assured, you'll get plenty. You'll have an arm around the
Oh, that's
shoulder
good. Yeah,
proverbially.
yeah.
You'll be okay.
That's really good. Yeah, because I think what you don't want to do is come steaming in and upset everybody.
Yeah. All right. Well, I won't go there. Let's talk about you steaming in terms of your energy levels and your enthusiasm for touring and performing once again. Where does that come from? How do you, I mean, you're off to do your workout. I know you do a lot of that. You're doing a lot of running and training. But when
Mm.
it comes to the actual theatricality, is this something you can just switch on?
Um, I think it's something that is always on, and it's just I just dip into it, I suppose. I've become I've come to realize that the touring existence is that's the part of my life, when there's genuine routine in the day, because there's a couple of hours in the show when I really need to be switched on and prepared and ready, and
Hmm.
the rest of the day is just geared up to making sure that I'm able to sort of walk into that situation
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
switch it on, as you say. Um, so I don't know. Over the last 30 years, I've managed to hone this existence so that when I'm on the road, it makes sense. And the only time it doesn't make sense is when I go home. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I have to go into things like being a father,
Yeah.
um, in some instances being a partner, not nowadays, but and it's a very sort of at the moment I have a very solitudinal
Hmm.
existence, and I wake up and then all my whether it's OCD or ADHD or whatever kicks
Hmm.
in. I have to make lists to be able to get the things done that I need to do. It's not like that on the road. I
Yeah.
just have this when I'm on the road. I have everything makes sense.
It's funny, I mean, in another existence, I have done, and I still present football a lot, and I've spent a lot of time down the years doing that. And when I've been close with professional footballers, they've always said that when a season comes to an end, or when a tournament comes to an end, or when they're no longer in that kind of the womb of the routine that you're talking about, they
Mm,
can feel bereft, and it's a real
mm,
come down. But
mm,
similarly, I can understand. I was talking to Mike Portnoy on this very channel because Dream Theater are on their way here, and he said, "Yeah, people assume that we're going to come to a town, eat the spicy food, drink the beer, see all the sights." But no, he said, we're in our routine, and it's that 2 or 3 hours on
yeah,
stage for them that is absolutely the focal point. So I can
yeah.
understand what you're at, but you've still got a bit of a grind to go through. And is that something you feel that you're comfortable with?
I think I would miss it if we didn't have that really. Some people are lifers, and
Mm,
some people struggle with it, but I don't know. I think I was talking about this yesterday. Like, I have this. I've noticed in the last few years that I've become more and more productive.
yeah,
Um, my output is ridiculous. If I'm not writing songs when I'm at home, I'm doing stuff for the YouTube channel.
yeah,
I work every day, so the grind is it's just part of my life really. Like this, I'm always doing something. And I don't think I've had a day off for years, to be honest.
yeah.
And I quite like it like that, to be honest. I you know, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I think at Christmas time just now, we had a plan to go up to the mountains and snowboard every day. And that's the sort of thing that's great for me because, you know, there's a lot of preparation involved.
Yeah.
You have to get there, you have to go up the mountain and all this sort of stuff. And it's a bit like being on tour, really, because then the hours that you spend on the piece, there's a lot of prep for it. But my daughter broke her arm on the first day.
Oh,
And then for the rest of the Christmas, we went home and she just had to sit in front of a television while her arm healed.
mm,
And I had to learn from her how to switch off and how to relax. You know, so even though, I'm obviously 38 years older than my daughter, she was teaching me how to chill.
Yeah, I think we all get that. We all get that, and whether it's the
Mm.
gadgets or sort of more fundamental ways of living, fully hear what you're saying there. Just before we move on from the humor thing and what you do, because I don't want to let this one go. The world
Yeah,
seems to be a very serious place these days, and rock music is not immune from that either. Do you think more than ever
yeah, it's
the
true.
fact that you bring that humor and that irreverence to it? I mean, you're going to love being in Australia, I'd imagine, particularly with, some of the sort of AC/DC influences you have, because you're going to get slapped down if you take yourself too seriously down there. But is it
Yeah,
important
it's
that
true.
you do this?
Um, I want to answer this carefully, so sorry for the pause.
Okay.
It's important not just because of the slapping down, or and I understand. It's funny because like when we first started this band, not taking ourselves seriously was the thing that got us slapped down a lot in the UK.
Mm,
Then you go somewhere like Australia, and it's just like it's not an issue. They appreciate the way we approach this stuff. It's like it is irreverent. There's obviously we have a love for it, but we don't have an unconditional irreverence for the old school way of doing things. We do take ourselves seriously in the sense that we've all learned how to play our instruments, and we care about the arrangements, and we try and make concise and powerful rock music, and that takes a certain discipline. But there's absolutely no way we were going to evolve into a band that's on the radio all the time. We're
mm,
always going to do what we do. That means that the sort of moment of international success that we had wasn't sustainable. I think a band like Coldplay, for example, and I'm not saying it just to have a go at Coldplay because obviously I know there's people that love them. But if you listen to the way their sound evolved, they started off quite spiky. You could hear the guitars, and there was something raw about the way they approached things, and it was exciting.
mm.
I mean, but gradually the guitars have become less and less audible. They've to maintain their trajectory and stay at the top. They've turned into something that's sounds more like Chris Martin with a producer
Yeah.
than it does a band. But we'll always be a band, and when you're a band, the level of what I like to call arsing around.
Mhm.
Um, you have to maintain that because that's how you nurture those relationships, and that's how you carry on sort of being able to work with the same few people. You've got to have a laugh, and that
Yeah.
comes across in the music, I think. And that's the same for all of the great bands, like
Mm.
AC/DC,
Yeah.
Aerosmith, Queen. I mean, listen to all the humor in the Queen stuff. It's like, and they were consistent lineup throughout until obviously that wasn't possible anymore. And I think that's how we do it, really. It's like it's to do with the way we interact with each other more than it is fear of being slapped down, really. Because in some cultures, like the UK, for example, it's the reason why people didn't take us seriously. But in Australia, it's the reason why everyone comes to see us play.
Yeah.
We can't fit enough people in the rooms in Australia, and we're always adding shows every time we go there. And so I think this Singapore show is coming at the end of a little run where we'll have had a great time.
Yeah. Oh,
This
for sure.
Australian tour is it's always great fun when we go there because they get us.
Yeah.
Um, so it's going to be difficult to change that. It was like this, we're not inclined to stop doing it in the way we do it. And I hope it works in Singapore, quite honestly.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a very, very welcoming audience. I can tell you that for sure. Just quickly, you
Yeah.
were talking about those influences. I was thinking about Mortal Dread, and I was thinking about other aspects
Mm.
of Dreams on Toast, and AC/DC and Queen coming through loud and clear as ever. But I was also
Mm.
struck by the fact that it's a Darkness album. It's what 25 years on or something, but it's confident. It's unapologetically who you are. It isn't compressed. I've seen you talking about them on your channel about the modern production. It's got the
Yeah.
spikes that you'd want in there. Are you
Yeah.
happy with what you delivered, and do you feel it's who you are and what you are right now as a band?
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of time. I mean, we've got a certain way of working, which I think is very time consuming. We go around the houses looking for the sounds. We explore every tangential option that we can to try and deliver those songs in the way we think they deserve to be performed. And so that's why there's a couple of songs on that record that sort of sound a bit like country or something like that.
Yeah.
For example, there's the Cold Hearted Woman. I can remember we were playing it. We did it in all sorts of styles. We tried it in Carib style. We did a version of it that sounded like "You Making Me Feel," like a Hall and Oates song. And then we settled on country because that was the sort of the delivery that made the song resonate the most effectively. But we tried everything, and we tried everything on every song. Um, and so we were lucky because on the last few albums that we've released, we haven't had that much time to experiment in that way. But because we did the 20th anniversary of Permission to Land, it kind of gave us two album cycles to collate the material and explore those things. And then the recording process itself takes a really long time because we're old school. We don't use clicks. There's no copying and pasting possible because everything fluctuates tempo wise. We have no metronomes, nothing, when we play live, we have nothing pre-recorded or on tapes or anything like that. Um, so it takes a lot longer to find the right performances, because everybody peaks at different times as well. Like Rufus is a sprinter, so we'll do, we'll do like I reckon we'll probably do about 20 takes of every song. And the one that we choose of his performances is going to be about the third one. So there's 17 times around where we're all sort of familiarizing ourselves with the material, but he's already got it. You know what I mean? Like so it's hard, it's just a lot of it's just curating the performances.
Yeah.
And you've got to spend the time to do that. And if we don't have it in the 20 takes, we've got to go again another day,
Mm.
and he'll be exhausted. So it might not be the next day. We'll have to go and work on something else in the meantime. And then there's all the overdubs and everything else that we do, the multi-layered backing vocal arrangements, which is 9 times out of 10, that's me singing everything. Sometimes Rufus's voice will be in there as
Mm.
well. Um, and I've got to sing across 5 octaves. The whole thing takes a
Yeah.
long time to build and arrange. So I think the short answer is that we're really proud of Dreams on Toast because we actually had the time that it takes to make a record like that. Thanks to having been around for 20 odd years. I mean, the first album we spent a lot of time on I Believe in a Thing Called Love and Love is Only a Feeling, and the rest of the record took 2 weeks because that's all we had, in terms of money and time, that's all we had. So we had the luxury of being able to pore over this one, and I think that's when you make a record that's designed like Dreams on Toast is, then you need that time. And the thing is, time is elastic, so they give you they give you a deadline. We're going to be going over by a
Mm.
week or two, and there'll be pressure at the end. But because whatever you give us, we'll need a little bit more. You know?
I don't want to go over our time slot too much, to be honest with you. So just quickly, of the Dreams on Toast songs, which are the ones you're most looking forward to getting on stage?
I'll be honest with you, Mortal Dread, the one you mentioned earlier,
Mm.
that's so much fun to play live. I really love the way I don't have to sing, I don't have to play guitar on that one, so I can run around, deliver it. Um, and my brother does the Malcolm thing really well, so that's the most AC/DC-ish, I think,
Yeah.
and I really enjoy playing it. Um, what else do I like? We'll probably open with Rock and Roll Party Cowboy because big party,
Yeah.
you know, sets the tone. And it's a good way to sort of ease my voice into the rigors of the evening's entertainment as well. Um, what else is good on there? Longest Kiss is always a great moment. Uh, I mean, what I like about this record, and we can go over a bit if you don't mind. I mean,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
um, what I like about this record is that on previous Darkness albums, we've adjusted the key to look for that part of my range where I'm really singing desperately at the top of my mid range or screeching at the top of my high range. And that's okay. I don't mind doing that. I've still got the same range I've always had, but I wanted this record to be different. And I asked the guys if we could not chase the key and just let me be a singer. Because if you've got 5 octaves, then the temptation is always to use the impressive high bits. But I wanted to sing songs as a singer and just allow me to sort of try and find different areas to exploit and use my singing voice in a different way, like to actually sing these songs and have to pull other things out of my toolbox to achieve it. So I'm really pleased that like songs like Longest Kiss, I'm not really screaming at any point during that, and but I'm still having to sort of put the work in a different way to emote, and I love doing that. You know, it's been really enjoyable to play these songs live. You know.
Really looking forward to hearing them. Just quickly, from the point of view of those who are coming to the show here in Singapore, what else can they expect? Obviously, you're going to have those songs sitting alongside your staples, your classics, right?
Yeah. There's a few songs from Jeans on Toast. There's some from Motorheart, Easter is cancelled. When we play in the theatres, we can do the faster stuff. I think they get a bit lost if you play anything bigger than a theatre because the way the room
Mm.
just swamps you and it's difficult to uh, place anything that's breakneck speed when it's echoing back at you all the time. Um, but I think in a nice theatre we can do a lot of stuff. So, you know, there'll be a range of tempos explored across all of the albums that we've done. Um, all the favourites. Yeah, it'd just be like a best of set, I think. I don't know what else to tell you really. I
Oh,
think,
oh, no, that's fine. I mean, well, they'll find out. I mean, I always get
yeah,
a bit upset when, when I'm going to a big show, a band I love, and there's a temptation to go and watch all the shows they've just played, and I try not to do it because you don't want to be, you kind of want to know, but you don't really want to know exactly what's coming your way. So I think that's a lovely
Mm.
little taster for everyone.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
Just quickly, we talked about overrunning. One of the nature of obviously the promotional thing is we always like to do those little quick fire questions occasionally if we can. So if you don't mind
Yeah.
playing a little couple of minutes of quick fire, first thing that comes to mind or quick. I know it's a little unfair on you because you'll always go back and think, oh, I could have said something different. But I'll throw a half dozen questions at you
Don't
and then
worry, no
see what we can
regrets.
do.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go then. So first one up, a song or album you've had on repeat recently.
The eponymous Towns Van Zandt record.
Ooh, love that. Okay. Your go-to pre-show ritual or superstition?
Mm. Well, I don't have any superstitions, but pre-show ritual is I sort of hum into a tube that's called a Lax Fox tube, but it actually looks like just a pipe that might have come out of a dishwasher. Um, and it's a new way that I've in the last few years that I've been preparing my voice. So it's just a few minutes of that, and I'm ready to rock.
I'm going to give you three answers on this if you want three. You can go for one, but it was the question actually is best concert, apart from one of your own, obviously, that you've ever
Yeah.
attended.
Okay, three of those. Brown Hornet at South by Southwest in 2003. Never seen anything like it. Quite amazing, sort of. They're a comedy band, sort of. But I like to think of it as progressive comedy. It's very strange. Two synthesizer players facing each other, trying to make each other laugh. The singer's a real star, like a Jack Black type, and really unusual arrangements, and a guy in the front row who must have been one of their friends. They set fire to his head. I've never seen anything like it. It was crazy. Um, I saw the Lemon Twigs last year or the year before, playing in Brighton and in the Concord, and they they only loaded in one guitar each, little amps. They all swap instruments, and they did a cover of um, Good Vibrations, and it sounded better than what the Beach Boys do now. It was quite amazing.
Oh,
I'll choose a big one for you. I've got to say probably AC/DC Wembley must have been 2000 and how long ago was that? I think it must have been 2001 or something like that. It was
mm.
amazing.
Yeah, I got to. You always get with AT. One of the benefits of being senior, shall we say, I saw Bon Scott twice before he died. Hammersmith.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, just honestly
Wow,
shaped you. 15 years old, and you see that sort of show, Hammersmith Odeon, man. It just shapes you for the rest of your life musically. It's
that's
incredible.
amazing. We played at Hammersmith Odeon just after AC/DC in October 2003. And somehow we broke the attendance record. But I think it's because they had a bigger guest list than us, so
Wow.
so more people bought tickets for us. You know, we didn't have as many friends as AC/DC
Just
did.
take it. Take the record.
Yeah, yeah.
Just quickly, apart from your dishwasher pipe, one item you always travel with on tour.
Um, a brass cat. And that I suppose that counts as superstition, but I've got this little brass cat that I carry around with me.
Oh, I'll give you one more. Two people you'd want to be stuck if you had to be stuck with anyone on a 15-hour flight.
Whew, wow. These are really good. 15-hour flight, stuck with two people. Um, that's almost impossible, that is. My daughter and somebody like and perhaps like a monk that's been taken a vow of silence.
Nice one. Nice one. Like I told you they were going to be difficult and you'll read
Yeah,
through
they're
this
really
one maybe.
difficult.
Well, I hope your daughter's arm's all good again and
Yeah, she's
thanks
much
so
better now.
much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much, Justin, for taking all this time. Could you just do one thing for us? Just a little sort of
Yeah.
shout out to fans who might be coming or even thinking of coming out here that we could just put up. Yeah, the date is March the 11th, and it's at the Capitol Theatre in Singapore, the show. If you just want to say anything about
I'll
what
give it
they
a go.
look forward to.
Okay, great. Hey guys, it's me, Justin Hawkins from the Darkness. We're coming to play at the Capitol Theatre on March the 11th in Singapore. We've never been there before, and we're really, really excited about it. I hope you guys come down to witness a first, and hopefully it won't be the last. We're coming in hot after a little bit of touring. We'll be tight, loud, and excited, and I hope you will be too. All right, lots of love. Thanks.
That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a good workout, safe travels. I
Yeah.
guess it's do drink the water if you're going to Buxton. Um,
Yeah, that's right, actually.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice talking to you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
You too. Thanks, John. I really appreciate it.
Cheers. I really hope you enjoyed that video and make sure you come back for more because we're just getting started here at Words and Music. There's plenty of great content coming your way. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll let you know whenever we drop anything new. Share this with your friends and feel free to comment. Be part of our community. I'll see you again soon.